Hey there, welcome to Dull Motion. Many people have waited for this custom, but it's finally here, the elusive James Foxx. For those who are new to the channel, James Foxx is a character from my stop-motion Divus series. This Fox man is uncle to Alex, Volpini and Felicia, and husband to a wolf named Canis. James was first mentioned in my summer wolf RePaint, and a few times more in the series. All that we know about him is that he is a famous author, leaves home a lot for business, he looks a lot like Alex when he was younger, made a mysterious Divus folder which was discovered by Felicia, and he owns a silver cube. Yeah, you can say he's a very interesting guy. So let's begin and make James Foxx. If you saw the foxtail hiding behind a brown red dye more, then you found the hint. Good luck find the hint for the next repaint video. For this repaint I'm going to use Monster High boy Jackson Jekyll. Well, only his head. If you can remember, I used Jackson's body for Harris. For James's body, I bought this very articulated Obitsu 27cm male body. I love this brand of bodies and have plans to replace many of my older characters with Obitsu bodies. If you're interested in male doll bodies, I made a lineup for you. Let's begin on the left side. The first one is a Monster High body, which is a great body type for making teenagers. The second body is an Ever After High male body, a very great body to work with. But they are hard to find these days, with the discontinuing of the Ever After High doll line. The third body is a body from AliExpress. It has double joints and it's the same body I used for my Peros repaint. The body next to it is also a body from AliExpress, with the same double joints as the third body, but this body is a little bit wider. And last but not least, the Obitsu body we're going to use for this custom. It's by far the most articulated male body you can find. The only downside is it can be kinda expensive. For more information about the male bodies, see links in my description box. Well, I already mentioned James's wife, Canis. She will also getting a makeover in this video, beginning by giving her a new body, this made-to-move Barbie body. A very big thanks to Kosomolski Dolls for finding and shipping this body to me. I really couldn't find one in the Netherlands. To replace the head, I first dunked the doll's head in hot water. This makes the final of the head soft and easy to remove from the neck back without breaking it. And now for Canis's head. This is kinda a stressful moment for me, because I really don't want to break any of our face modifications. For this I'm going to use a blow dryer to make the final soft. Gently I take off the head. And here we go. It's so weird to see her like this. But let's switch back to James for now. James is getting blonde hair, so to remove the black hair, I first cut off the hair as close to his head as possible. Yeah, James is not going to get an eyebrow piercing, so it has to go. To remove the remaining hairs, I go through the neck hole with tweezers. To remove the factory painted face, I use pure acetone. He's getting fox ears, so I'm going to take off those human ears. Switching back to Canis, Although I love the made-to-move Barbie bodies, I'm not a fan of the stiff hands and floppy feet. So let's dig into the spare hand box and look for some replacements. I found a collection of hands and strong obitsu feet. Sadly, not in our skin tone, but I can change that with some dye. This looks kinda weird for some, but I'm going to shorten the end of the joints. This makes it easier for me to replace the hands on the arms, without moving the doll. This way I can animate her hands in future Divus episodes. I'm also doing this for James. This is going to be so cool. James and Canis are older characters, so that means more animal features. To translate this into a human body, I'm going to give them partly digigrade legs. If you have a soft plastic body, you can just make a small cut and bend them. Nice trick I picked up from my Minimon's channel. With wire and superglue, I reattached James' legs together. And before I forget, I also make a hole in his lower back for his future fluffy tail. To fill in the empty space in his legs, I use my trusty Apoxie Sculpt. And let's also make some pointy fox ears. Mix A and B together and fill in the empty space. The fox ears don't need to be perfect, because I'm going to cover them with yarn later. When the epoxy is dry, I first mark the ears on the head. This will be a guideline for the reroot later. Now I can take off the ears. To make it easy for myself, I mark the ears left and right. As an undercoat, I paint the ears a bright orange. Now the ears are drying, let's make some yarn wefts. Many of you already know the process. Take a ball of yarn, comb it, glue it on the freezer bag, and peel it off. For the base of the tail, I use a special made wire, which I covered with bandage tape. But you can also use another type of tape. It's just so the wefts has something to grab on. With my hot glue gun, I really need to replace one day, I glue on the wefts. I simply roll them to the end. To make the tail all fluffy, I give it an extra brush with a pet brush. To make fluffy fox ears, I glue bits of yarn to the ears with fabric glue, until we have something like this. Okay, a little trim and all done. But first, James needs a reroot. His hair will be a combination of blonde and grey hair. James is 48 years old, so he probably has some silver hair showing. As in real life, his grey hair will be mainly around his temples. The rest I fill in with blonde. To give his hair a little bit more of a grey tone, I pluck a strand in the front part. Something that really bothers me for some time was Canis's part. Not really a neat hair part. So I bought some hair in her color and complete the hairline. To secure the hairs from the inside, I use a universal glue and a Q-tip. After a day of drying, I can give James a boil wash. This will make the hair stay down. I'm going to let it air dry for now. Like I already mentioned in the video, I'm going to dye Canis's hands and also James's hands. For this, I'm going to use Red Dye More Chocolate Brown. And well, And for some reason, red Dimor doesn't have black. Only a graphite tone, which is more of a dark grey. I know iDye Poly can be a great alternative to red Dimor, and I'm definitely going to try it one day. But I was kinda running out of time. So I bought this local brand to see if it also works. Yeah, I can read on the instructions you need a washing machine. So my hopes are very low. But still, I like to experiment. And we have the graphite tone as a backup. But first, let's start with the chocolate brown color. Yes, I learned from my mistakes and I'm only going to use a small amount of dye this time. Yep, that dye's great. Hey, now I'm dyeing with a dark brown color. I actually need doll hair in this tone. So let's try some doll hair. Yeah, I need this hair for a certain cat boy I'm making in the future. Wow, that looks great. Okay, let's try the local black dye, which I have no hopes for. Wow, it's very thick. Okay, let's try it first on this cat figure. Oh, by the way, it's not a hint for the next video. I just want to make a black cat figure. Yeah, that doesn't look great. It doesn't stay on at all. Fabric works okay. And doll hair? No, not really. Okay, this dye is great for fabrics, but anything synthetic is a big no. So let's switch to red Dimor. Yeah, that's much better. And doll hair? Yes, also great. And here we got the results. Like I already thought, I'm working with different kinds of plastics. So that means different kinds of color tones. James's feet are perfect, but his hands are too light. But still, the joints of the hands and feet are for both dolls perfect. Bringing them to the perfect color is easily fixed. James is just getting a permanent marker treatment. If you are wondering about the doll hair and fabrics, here are the results. Dark brown hair for Felix and black hair dyed out of yellow hair. The fabrics are mostly hit or miss. This Lika dress came out great, just like this Monster High hoodie and pullover. But some are just, yeah, maybe a second dye one day. Okay, let's switch back to James's body. Something I love about these Obitsu bodies is the option to take them apart. This gives me the possibility to place a bolt in the back. This is handy for future stop motion scenes. So I can secure the doll to a stop motion rig. Okay, let's smooth out the digigrade legs. And cover the epoxy part with a layer of superglue. This prevents the epoxy from breaking off the plastic. Like Fox's, I'm going to give James's arms and legs a gradient to black. I first paint them with acrylic paint and I made the gradient with pen pastels and a brush. To glue the tail in place, I simply use superglue. It's so nice that you can see what you are doing with these Obitsu bodies. I started this trend with Alex and Felicia, so James is also getting an orange gradient in his hair, at the part line and around the ears. Great, now the ears can go back. I secure them with super glue. Before we give the head some face modifications or face up, it's best to place the head on the body. Like I already mentioned, he's an older character. That means a lot more animal features in his face. I'm going to make his nose longer, making it into his snout. For this I cut off his human nose and place it lower on his face with Apoxie Sculpt. I'm also closing the holes of his eyebrow piercing and I gave him some teeth. With some spare Apoxie Sculpt, I gave all the hands long claws. To prevent the claws from breaking off, I use again a layer of superglue. When they are dry, I paint them in the right color. And I added some detail, like wedding rings and a mysterious mark on James's right hand. Why does he have this mark? Well, it will be explained much later in the Divus series. To blend the facial modifications with the rest of the face, I use thin layers of acrylic paint. A spray of Mr. Superclear and we can finally start the face up. Just like Alex, I gave James a white muzzle around his mouth. I painted his nose black and gave him some shading with pastels. I start sketching in his eyes with a watercolor pencil. I want this character to have smaller eyes than I usually give my characters. It makes him slightly older and give him a serious look. Maybe it will look kinda weird next to all the characters with big eyes. But when I make more characters with these types of eyes, it will blend in just fine. With my guidelines all done, I start filling in the eyes with acrylic paint. Like all the members of the Fox family, he's also getting green eyes. To give him more of a stern look, I shade the corners around his eyes. Okay, let's answer the question of the day. I have questions about the durability of your redone dolls. How well do they hold up being used in stop motion? Have you found them wearing out from use? Do you have backup versions when one needs to be replaced? A very good question. Yes, all the dolls I use in my stop motion scenes wear out. Well, nothing serious, more like scuffs or broken tails or loose ears, which I replace or glue or paint on again. I sometimes even subtle change the design of a doll, like Alex's eyes, Penny's white patches, and recently I even changed Volpini's nose to look more well like a nose. Like I mentioned a few times before, older characters are getting better articulated bodies. So yeah, if you work with dolls for stop motion, you need to take care of them. That's why I try to make my dolls very sturdy and practical for stop motion scenes. Do you have a question of the day? Leave it in the comments section. And maybe I will answer it in the next RePaint video. Back to the face up. James looks all serious and a bit annoyed, just like I imagined him. Going back on the topic of changing the design of an older character, Canis is getting a big change. Her eyes. I made them a bright pink. I think it suits her overall design much better, and it works much better into the Divus storyline, being that her eyes are her powers. Yeah, some of you already figured out what her powers are. Okay, James needs a stylish outfit. I don't have any patterns for this type of doll yet. But I found this amazing shop on Etsy, by the name of Requiem Design. This pattern is great for ever after high and obese to slim male bodies. I will put a link into my description box. And the outfit turned out very great. Only the jeans. I don't know, it's too baggy and the fabric doesn't suit this character. Instead of, I stole these pants from a candle I own and flipped them inside out. I hemmed the outline a bit and turned them back. Now we have great fitting pants. I think I'm going to give the blue jeans to Alex or Henry if they get their own Obitsu body. For his shoes I used these classy Ken shoes, which I painted black using a permanent marker. So it will match his outfit. Okay, body, outfit and face up done. It's time for some facial hair. As in sideburns and eyebrows. To give him sideburns, I first cover the area where his human ears used to be with fabric glue. Then I dab on pre-made flock. Yeah, I still had some flock left from my Hank repaint. Like all my male characters, his eyebrows are gently glued on his face, weft by weft. Brush off the excess flock and trim the eyebrows. For some depth I shade his ears and eyebrows with pastel powders and a brush. Some last styling with my Screaming Man hair gel and James is all done. Well, I think Canis is very happy her husband is finally home. I'm so excited to animate this character. He will definitely change the whole Divus series. Now I made 2 new characters, being Hank and James. I updated the family tree. About a month ago I started drawing the original Divus characters. So I will also include them into the family tree as the head of their family. I would like to thank my lovely patrons for their amazing support. Without them, this channel could not exist. By the way, a Patreon winner was chosen for the Fall Pics and Ninetales giveaway. And the dolls are on their way to a new home. The next giveaway on Patreon will be an animal costume of your choice. And I'm going to select a winner very soon. This video will be in RePaint on YouTube. And like always, like if you liked it and sub if you loved it. See you in the next video. Bye!